Modern Dude Chat is brought to you by Beard Supply. BeardSupply.com. All natural beard care grooming products for your beard. Beard care for wildlife.
Hey guys, welcome to the bonus fantasy football episode of Modern Dude Chat. In this episode, it's just me. Cody abandoned me for this one. No, I had a live draft online. So this one, we're just going to hang out, talk some fantasy football. We're going to go through 15-round live draft. So again, this is the bonus podcast. If you're into fantasy football and football in general, want something additional to listen to, I'll try to get into some of my own thoughts and processes on the fantasy world, but this draft went by super quick, so I'm not sure how much I got in. But anyway, it's just something fun we want to add to the mix. This is the Modern Dude Chat Fantasy Football Special. That being said, let's do it. Alright guys, this is Chuck here. This is the special edition bonus podcast for Fantasy Football 2019 season. Right now I'm flying solo, so it's just me up in here. I got all my research laid out. If you hear me shuffling papers, you know why. I do have a live draft about to kick off, so I'll be shuffling papers and talking some fantasy and making some selections, and we'll see how this turns out. Just so everyone's up to speed and know what I'm working with, this is a 10-person league. It's a returning league, so you draft based on how you finish. I finished fourth, tied for third last year, flipped the coin, and fourth in the standings. So I had the 7th pick, and this is like I said, 10-person league. And the main difference is no PPR, so no points per reception. And in your starting lineup, this league, it's only one running back. So one quarterback, one running back, 2 wideouts, a tight end, 1 flex, kicker, defense, 7 bench players. So with that being said, that's what's going to make it a little bit different is the non-PPR, 4-point quarterback touchdown throws, and 1 running back. So the running backs are not as valued as they typically would be. And so a lot of emphasis on wide receiver in this draft. So with that being said, 10 seconds till this starts off. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and first team's on the board. So on this particular draft, we use a site. I've never heard of it before I started playing this league. It's called Flea Flicker. So it's not your standard ESPN, NFL league, that stuff. So and we're rolling fast. This is usually a pretty quick draft, and I will try to, discuss and talk about what's happening. So, first pick, Saquon Barkley. Surprisingly, second pick's already off the board, Ezekiel Elliott. So Zeke's off. That's a shocker. I've been doing a few mocks, and he's dropped at least to the 4th or 5th pick. Alvin Kamara goes 3rd. That's why I picked number 1 overall in my other league. So nothing surprising so far. Christian McCaffrey goes 4. So to get prepared for this draft, David Johnson goes 5. So this went exactly according to the mock drafts I've been working with for getting ready for this draft in particular. So I am a fantasy nut. I do mock drafts. I like to see, get an idea. Ooh. And just got thrown a curveball. In my eyes, number 6 pick, DeAndre Hopkins. That is who I was anticipating taking. So that's going to cause me to shake it up a little bit. I'm on the board, number 7 pick. So my options are Nick Chubb, Devontae Adams or Julio Jones is where I'm sitting at. And I think for this round, I want to make sure that I get a stud. So I'm going to take Devontae Adams as my first pick, number 7, wide receiver. All right. Sorry, I had to reply to some chat. So James Conner goes behind me. James Conner with the 8th pick. And another thing about this league, so this is where you need to kind of know your league a little bit. With this league in particular, I know the guys like to draft their starter spots first, regardless of position, and then kind of work towards their bench. So they very quickly, you will see quarterbacks and tight ends start flying off the board as they get their 1s and 2s and wide receivers and getting their first picks out of the way. So that's a little different. So knowing that, I can typically get a deeper roster in this. It's just a matter of if you want a quarterback or a tight end, you got to jump in there and get them because they go fast. And that's what's a little unpredictable about dealing with this league. All right, so Le'Veon Bell goes number 10. And we are on... Todd Gurley goes number 9. Le'Veon Bell goes number 10. And we are through the first round. So that was pretty dang quick for a first round. And just so everyone knows, a timer, we got a 2-minute timer on picks. So you better kind of have your head on the swivel and know exactly what you're doing. Michael Thomas is the first pick in the second round. And Michael Thomas, I had Michael Thomas last year, and he was a stud for me last year. Julio Jones off the board, second pick of the second round. There you go. See, just like I said, Patrick Mahomes, second round, third pick. That was a doozy. Man, so there's a lot of good players still left on the board. Nick Chubb is still there. Odell Beckham Jr. is still there. Joe Mixon's still there. I believe I am going to... Let's see, I drafted Devontae Adams. Yeah. I'm going to take Odell Beckham with my second pick. So Odell Beckham Jr. So my first 2 picks, 2 wide receivers. Like I said, for this, normally I would typically go for a running back, but I'm on the back end of this fantasy draft. And running back, there's only one slot for him, and I think I can get a decent one later. So I'm trying to stack up on wide receivers right now. So Tyreek Hill, who I almost picked, goes behind me. Man, we're moving super quick. So Cody mentioned before, I do research, and Nick Chubb's off the board now. 6. Juju Smith off the board, 7th pick in the second round. I do a lot of research. I use one primary site. I can't give all my secrets away, but I do use one primary site, and then I do sprinkle in just a little bit of everything. I'm not a big fan of the ESPN site. Their stuff, like when I compare my stuff to what they have, which is what our the league uses a lot of, quite a bit off on quite a bit of players, and it's just preference. I haven't found a lot of success in ESPN's rankings and draft knowledge, so I kind of went away from it. But I do have one primary, and I sprinkle in a bunch. So I do have my own like cheat sheet, spreadsheet. It's got sleepers, busts, breakouts, risk factor. Got it. The top. I think I narrowed it down. Top 30 quarterbacks, top 50 running backs, top 50 wide receivers, top 20 tight ends, and got them all broken down based on different stats, and I even got some history done, last 3-year averages and whatnot. So, all right, catch you up. Round 2, pick 8 was Travis Kelce, so there's your first tight end. Pick 9 was Joe Mixon from the Bengals, so we're caught up. So in that second round, we had a quarterback and a tight end go. Kelsey's not that crazy, especially in the back end of the second round. But man, Mahomes in early second round is a bit of a doozy. And the 10th pick of the second round, Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown. So now we're in the third round. Man, I haven't even got to drink a beer yet, so I'm no beer feature on this. We're going too fast. I'm drinking the Rogue Hazelnut, which you featured on episode 30. So good, I went back for more. And what I always find funny about the fantasy drafts is you can find out real quick how much research people have done, because after the first 2-3 rounds, almost all the time gets spent doing picks. And that's because, the first 2-3 rounds, you kind of know what you're doing. Everyone kind of has an idea where they're going, who the top players are. Rounds 3 through probably, I would say, 6 or 7 is where you're finding that gold, and that's what wins you your league, is knowing the players, the mid-round players, the ones who are really going to make a difference on your team. I mean, the top guys are usually going to get theirs. It's who you can get to support them and get those extra points. All right, so third round, we're flying. Damian Williams, running back from Kansas City, is the first pick in the third round. Amari Cooper, second pick in the third round. Adam Thielen, third pick in the third round. And Dalvin Cook, running back Minnesota, fourth pick in the third round. So far, no surprises except for that Mahomes pick. Mike Evans, fifth pick in the third round. Let's see what number 6 does before it's up on my term again. Leonard Fournette. All right, let me update my sheet so I know where I'm at here. All right, I'm going to go. I kind of want to go tight end here, and yeah, I think I'm going to go tight end. I'm going to jump in and go ahead and get my tight end in round 3. I want one of the top 3, so I wanted Kelsey, Kittle, or Ertz, and I am going in on Zach Ertz. So Zach Ertz with my pick in the third round, 7th pick in the third round. So I got my 2 starting wide receivers, my starting tight end. Still need a running back. Of course, quarterback. Defense. Kicker. All right, Keenan Allen with the 8th pick in the third round. So again, as far as picks that have already been made, especially picking the 7th pick, so I had Todd Gurley as a big risk. I really didn't want to touch him because his injury has been a huge mystery. I had Dalvin Cook as a sleeper in Minnesota. I almost pulled the trigger on him, but held back. And like pretty much the top 12 wide receivers are studs. I mean, you can't go wrong really with any of the top 12 or 12 wideouts. So I know I was pretty good there. The only one, of course, was a risk is Tyreek Hill because you never know what he's gonna do, especially with he got cleared of the suspension and the charges, but you never know if that's going to come back and bite him. So, with the exception of Tyreek Hill, the top 12 wide receivers are pretty much good to go on all of them. And again, tight end last year was a weird year for tight ends. If you didn't have one of the top 3, you pretty much got burned. So I just wanted to make sure I jumped in there and got my tight end, or a tight end, one of the top 3. In this draft, and I picked Ertz over Kittle because Carson Wentz does not tend to throw the ball down the field. He's a check down, short throw guy, and that's just going to play right into Ertz tight end. And so the last couple of years, he's been the target king for the Eagles, and I'm trying to capitalize on getting those yards and touchdowns. Woo! Okay, so there's a little shocker. All right, so finish out the third round. Stephon Diggs, 9th pick. Aaron Jones, 10th pick. 4th round, George Kittle, so the third tight end went in the 4th round. Melvin Gordon went in the 4th round, 2nd pick, and he is the San Diego running back that is holding out and not expected to show up, may very well possibly get traded. An interesting note about this league, which is why Melvin Gordon was at least on my radar, we have an IR spot, injury or suspension reserve spot. So you can pretty much draft here. You could draft Melvin Gordon or Zeke, and as soon as we get done with the draft, drop them on the IR list and pick up an extra player. So that's why there's a spot where you can pretty much stash players, and that's another unique aspect of doing this particular league. Sonny Michel goes 4th round, 3rd pick, and now I have to pull the trigger on a running back, and the highest rated running back on my board. So Devonta Freeman, Chris Carson, Derrick Henry are still out there, and Kerryon Johnson. And I am going to go with it's torn. I'm going to grab Chris Carson, running back for the Seattle Seahawks. Which goes against all my mock drafts I did, because I did pick Devonta Freeman and all my others. But that's all right. So what's interesting is I might pull the trigger on a quarterback, even though it's totally out of character, totally out of line, just because we talked about in the last episode 30 of the podcast. Huge Baker fan, Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to be a freaking fantasy machine this year, and I'm trying to get a piece of it. Cody snagged him in our other league, and it's just quarterback's one of those positions where I do kind of draft with my heart, just because I want to be able to root for my quarterback in fantasy and in real life. Like, I would never draft Tom Brady because I cannot root for him. So I would like to get Baker, just so I really have an invested interest in watching the Browns, which I do anyway. And now I have Odell Beckham Jr., so if I can get Baker to Odell, that's money. So, man, slew of picks come down. Someone drafted Duke Johnson, Houston, running back, 5th pick. Brandon Cooks, 6th pick. Deshaun Watson, 2nd quarterback, 7th pick. Robert Woods, wide receiver, Rams, 8th pick. Derrick Henry, 9th pick. Oh, there you go. See, I should have taken him. Baker Mayfield, 10th pick, 4th round. So I told you these guys like to go ahead and start filling in their rosters. So they've already got their starters out of the way, and now you're going to start. Now, man, this just gets weird. It gets weird. Dude, they better not let Freeman drop all the way down. That'd be crazy. Keenan Allen, Robert Woods. Keenan Allen off the board yet? Yep. Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Brandon Cooks. Wow, someone just took Michael Gallup. Jeez. Come on, people. Use more sense than that. Chris Godwin. So, first pick in the 5th round, Chris Godwin, Michael Gallup. This dude always picks Cowboys. He's a Cowboy homer. But with that, when the Cowboys do good, he does good. When the Cowboys do bad, he does bad. So it's kind of a weird conundrum we have to deal with playing that guy. Sonny Michel, Chris Carson, Damian Williams, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Leonard Fournette, Kerryon Johnson. So actually, running back wise, I'm targeting Yes. Okay. All right, so Kerryon Johnson with the 4th pick. I'm going to drop him in my queue just in case I forget to pick. Kerryon Johnson, 4th pick in the 5th round. O.J. Howard, 5th pick in the 5th round. Matt Ryan, 6th pick in the 5th round. Now, I'm going back to running back. Man, Devonta Freeman is still there. If he's there on a comeback, I might have to grab him. But I'm excited about this rookie, and I want to go ahead and get him while I can. I'm going to pick Josh Jacobs, Oakland running back. Drafted him. So now I got my 2 running backs on the board. I feel a lot better now. And now that Baker's off on quarterback, I'm really not that worried with grabbing one because I don't feel like I have to have one. I was just going to draft him early just because I wanted him. Against all rhyme or reason, I just wanted him, so I was going to pick him. And now we wait. So Julian Edelman is off the board. There he goes. Devonta Freeman got a steal. 5th round, 9th pick. Man, I had him in the 3rd round. So almost the 6th round he got picked. Definitely would have grabbed him on the way back. I liked him. Just couldn't bring myself to pull the trigger for whatever reason. Got to start thinking about who I want in the 6th round on the comeback. So this is a snake draft. So that's 1 through 10, 10 through 1, 1 through 10, 10 through 1. So you go back and forth. So the number 1 and the number 10 picks usually have back-to-backs every round depending on which way you're going. And I do like to draft towards the middle. You got a little mix of everything. Drafting on the ends is tough business just because you got to make those picks right because you got to wait a long time, it feels like, before the players come back around. Let's see who we picked. Cooper Kupp. So everyone's talking about these 3 Rams wide receivers, Cooks, Woods, and Kupp. I only had Woods circled. I would only go after him this year. It's tough when you got 3 good wideouts like that and you got to pick one. But based on history, Woods is the most sought of the 3. And if I had to pick one, had to gamble, I would gamble on Woods. So now we're getting into the meat of the draft, is what I would say. This is your unknown running backs, your backup running backs, and your unknown wide receivers. If you've done research, you know what's up. If you haven't, you might be a little lost, and that's why the ticker takes a little while now, as people are looking up stats and trying to figure out what they're doing. So if you're in a fantasy draft and you have, so I like the fact that in both my leagues, it's kind of like a comeback league. Everyone comes back. You get the draft based on how you finished the previous year, and that's great. That I've known what I was going to pick for the last year. For the last 9 months, I've known I was picking 7. So I can mock draft. I can prepare for the 7th pick. I don't have to waste time on the running backs at the top because they're not going to be there, right? And it gives you if you're in a league, you run a league, or you join a league, I would highly recommend joining one where you know what your draft pick is going to be. It's a little more tricky to get prepared when you just show up to the draft and you don't know where you're going to pick and you just draw out of a hat or however you choose spots. This makes it a lot more easier to prepare. Like I said, I've done mock drafts to get ready for this league, and so I know the roundabout players that are going to be at my pick. You know, of course, you got those curveballs, stuff that you don't expect to happen where people fall to you or things change. But for the most part, you got the handful of players at each pick you're already looking at, and you know what's going on. So again, one of my recommendations, if you run a league, join a league, play in a league, is try to, if you don't, at least try to talk to the commissioner or set it up to where you know your draft pick. Maybe draw draft picks a month before draft, not day of draft, just so you have more time prepared and be better equipped to stack your team. All right, so 6 rounds underway. We got the first pick in the 6th round, Alshon Jeffrey. Second pick in the 6th round, Aaron Rodgers. And third pick in the 6th round, Philip Lindsay. Not high on any of those guys. So that's good for me. And I'm up. Okay. Flipping through my sheets here. Seeing kind of what I did. Was this the 6th round? All right, 6th round. All right, the 6th round, I'm going to grab another running back. I'm going to grab David Montgomery. And that is so I now have 3 running backs in a 1 running back starter league. And now I know, because I've done my research, looked ahead, we're about to get into a crop of wide receivers that are, for late round picks, they're studs. So I know wide receivers is deep this year, and I know I can get 1 or 2 good ones coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and get my running back set. Now I'm going to start hitting up wide receivers. So that's my strategy going into this draft. Everyone else is now trying to fill out their roster. So you're seeing the quarterbacks go. Tight ends are starting to fly off the board. And honestly, it probably wouldn't surprise you to see a defense or 2 coming up soon. Just like I said, for whatever reason, these guys like to fill out their rosters. I'm about getting depth. Quarterback is real deep this year too, so if you can hold off on a quarterback, you may have 1 or 2 that you really like, you'll jump for, but if they get taken, don't worry about it. This running back, this year's quarterback group is deep, and so you can build depth for those inevitable busts and injuries. Build depth on your running back and wide receivers. Don't jump for a quarterback, and don't jump for a tight end unless it's one of those top 3. So Marlon Mack's off the board with the 5th pick in the 6th round. Carson Wentz, 6th pick in the 6th round. Kenny Golladay, I like him. 7th pick of the 6th round. I just got to say, this is really awkward when you're doing this by yourself. I feel like I'm talking and having a conversation, but there's nobody here. Nobody here. So hopefully someone's still listening and still hanging out. We're going to keep rolling with this thing. So now you start getting these crazy picks, in my opinion, crazy picks. 8th pick in the 6th round, Mark Ingram, who's now in Baltimore. And then you got Tom Brady, 9th pick of the 6th round. FYI, some people may consider Tom Brady the GOAT, but dude is not a good fantasy quarterback. So don't get swept off your feet by the name. Would be my advice on that one. Especially quarterbacks, you'll find that the big names are not necessarily the big fantasy guys. So just make sure you do research and look up what you're getting. So Jared Goff just goes with the last pick of the 6th round. And so like Jared Goff, I had as my number 9 overall. Tom Brady, I had as my 16th overall. So Tom Brady, way down there. And unless you got just a shaky quarterback, I wouldn't even waste the roster spot on 2 quarterbacks. Like, just get the quarterback you want or get a good one you're good with and just roll with it. If something happens, there's always some out there on the waiver wire that you can pick up. So, again, I'll suggest always using your running back or using your bench spots, roster spots, to load up on running backs and wide receivers. Get an extra tight end if you can get a decent one, but running backs and wide receivers, because that's what's going to win you the league. Dang. Okay, see, this is why it gets crazy. Defense, 7th round. First pick in the 7th round. Chicago Bears defense. Insane. Wow. And now I got to talk a little of that mess. Dang. That just blows my mind. All right, Eric Ebron, tight end, Indianapolis, 2nd pick. Drew Brees, 3rd pick. Evan Ingram, tight end for the Giants, 4th pick. Coming up. And who do I have my eye on? So, like I said, I'm gonna hit up wide receivers here. And the only thing you gotta keep your eye out again on this league is they not only do they like filling in their starters, they like grabbing double quarterbacks. So if the quarterbacks start flying off the board, I might have to sneak in and grab one. Tyler Lockett, 5th pick of the 7th round. So we're gonna have a healthy options on these next couple picks. Sorry if I'm going a little dead space here. Trying to think right, keep my eye on the clock, multitasking at its finest. Drink a beer or two, check the phone. There's a lot going on here. Okay. All right, I think I got my sheet. All right, I'm on the board. DJ Moore gets picked. The 6th pick of the 7th round. So let me take a look at what we're working with. DJ Moore. Man. So, I mean, just off the bat, we got Mike Williams, T.Y. Hilton, Tyler Boyd, Robbie Anderson. I mean, there's some stud wide receivers still left. And so I'm going to put him in my queue there. So I want to take Hilton, but I think everyone's going to be afraid of him because of the Andrew Luck situation. And I think he might come back to me. So I'm going to pass on Hilton for this round because I want to get Mike Williams. Do I want Mike Williams? Talking myself out of it. No, I'm going to get Tyler. No, I'm taking Hilton. Let's not mess around. Don't mess around. See, sometimes you overthink it. Just take T.Y. Hilton. So now we got a 3 wide receivers: Devontae Adams, Odell Beckham, T.Y. Hilton. Not bad, not bad. Tyler Boyd, that's why I want to take him because, man, Tyler Boyd's a stud. Helped me out a lot last year. But that's all right. Hopefully Mike Williams or Robbie Anderson will come back around. We'll see. We'll see. So like I said, in most leagues, I'd be a little concerned about running back right now because I only have 3. Granted, I have 3 wide receivers, but I know what's coming up. But the 3 running backs I have are not the biggest names, the most proven. So I would be a little concerned if this was a 2 running back league. But it's not, so I'm happy. Here we go again. Rams, 9th pick in the 7th round. Jeez, AJ Green, 10th pick. I mean, you got to be real confident in your defense if you're picking them in the 7th round. Jeez, that's just insane to me. And this is the stuff you don't prepare for that I told you they like to just fill their starters and then they start going backups. But, I mean, you don't – it's hard to plan for 2 defenses getting picked in the 7th round. Because, like, even on the mock drafts, computer won't even pick defenses till – let's see, this is 15 round draft. They won't even pick them till the 13th round. So, I mean, we're still well a ways from picking up defenses, and they change year to year, week to week. I mean, it's hard to. The Bears were the only ones I would be comfortable picking. All right, Josh Gordon, eighth pick in the first pick in the 8th round. This draft is flying by, guys. Jeez. 30 minutes in, we're about halfway done. And we're slowing to a halt because people don't know what to do. They're trying to figure out what these names on the board are. And computer's going to start auto-drafting for folks. Larry Fitzgerald. Let's pick a name, any name. Here, once again, Larry Fitzgerald is a huge name, but he's like the 45th wide receiver on my board. Like, no, people are just picking familiar names at this point. Dallas Cowboys, defense. Oh, my gosh. All right, so we're going to have a field day. Like I said, Mike Williams. So I was hoping Mike Williams or Robbie Anderson would come back to me. They both did, so that's good. So I have my pick of the litter there. Mike Williams, Robbie Anderson, James White, Miles Sanders. A lot of guys I have targeted. Let's see what I did earlier today. Pick is this? 8th round pick. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab Mike Williams. Solid. Should have drafted him in the round before. We'll see what these crazy folks end up doing now. Man, 3 defense. So we're halfway. Halfway through the 8th round, and there's 3 defenses off the board already. That's crazy talk. So like I said, I do my own research. I make my own spreadsheets based on primary source and sprinkling information. But also what I did for myself this year is I looked up our scoring, how our scoring is, and I found the average place that the players finished in the previous 3 years. So 2016, 17, and 18. Threw them together, took their average to see who the most consistent players were. And, of course, you got to factor in rookies and injuries and stuff. But yeah, so I did a little research for myself, and I know that goes into some of these guys' rankings, but also I like to see who's actually done. I like to have a list of the top 10. So I have a list of the top 10 top 10 running backs, wide receivers, tight ends over the past 3 years. And that's why I picked Kamara in our other one, because the last 3 years, it's been Le'Veon Bell and Alvin Kamara have been the top dogs as far as consistently finishing in the top of running backs. All right, we got some picks coming down. Jared Cook, 5th tight end, 5th pick in the 8th round. Tevin Coleman, running back, San Francisco, 6th pick. Jarvis Landry, wide receiver, Cleveland. And James White, running back, New England, 8th pick in the 8th round. And this is also where you get, if you've done your research or have your own list, is different from the draft you're using. So, like, if you're drafting ESPN, you don't pull your list from ESPN or you create your own. This is where it gets fun because you may, like, I have a couple guys that are high up on my board that are still out there because they're so low on Flea Flicker's board. So you got these guys now who are not quite sure what they're doing, so they're just looking at the top players available based on Flea Flicker or ESPN, and that's a easy opening to get good players or know that you can wait out on one because a lot of these guys are going off what's given to them and not what they've looked up themselves. So, like I said, I have a lot of players still out there that are highly ranked on my sheets that are frankly not quite high on these. So, one of us is wrong, but I'd rather take a chance on my research than just take what's given to me. So, at least I can say if I screw up, I screwed up myself, not let someone else screw it for me. See, and here we go again. Like, you can't. I don't think I could have predicted any better. First pick in the 9th round, kicker. This dude has straight up picked his starting spots down the line in a row almost since the beginning. So he has a starter for every starter spot. He's got his defense. He's got a kicker already. That's insane. Don't do that. Don't pick a kicker anywhere before the last 2 or 3 rounds. That's just insane. Don't do that. And he picked Justin Tucker, Baltimore. Again, he's just going off the list. Let's see. Just out of curiosity. I had Tucker as the fourth best kicker. So he picked, in my mind, the 4th best kicker in the 9th round. That's stupid. Greg Olsen, tight end, Carolina. Hunter Henry, tight end, Chargers. Kenyon Drake, Miami running back. Might be a sleeper. And Allen Robinson, Chicago wide receiver. Let me update my sheets here so I know I'm coming up. We'll see what I can do. And again, picking names. Greg Olsen was the 19th best tight end on my sheet. And there he goes. He's one of the top 7 or 8. Miles Sanders, that was a good pick. I had my eye on him. All right, so we're going back to the wide receiver just because there's Robbie Anderson I have as a top 20 wide receiver, and he's still out there. So we're coming down. Where's my next? So I also like Curtis Samuel and Dede Westbrook. All 3 are still out there. I think they'll definitely come back to me. I'm going to take Robbie Anderson here. So now just to update, I got 3 running backs. 1, 2, 3. 5 wide receivers. And a tight end. Darius Juice, running back, Washington. I'm not confident in this guy at all. I had him marked red on my sheets. Do not touch. If you want to take the chance, go for it. But that dude scares. He makes me nervous. He has not looked that good in preseason. Might have been overdrafted in the NFL draft, and I was staying away from him. I'll let someone else test him out in his rookie year. So hopefully Dede Westbrook or Curtis Samuel comes back. Curtis Samuel, so DJ Moore's listed as a starting wide receiver in Carolina, but like training camp reports and just reading around, it seems like Curtis Samuel is actually the one that's going to be the stud on that team. So he's a guy you can get late round pick and probably get some good production out of him. And that's Curtis Samuel and Dede Westbrook. Dede Westbrook, of course, being the Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver. And now that they got Nick Foles, they're going to be looking a lot better as well. So those are the 2 I'm targeting, looking for to come back to me. I don't see any. I had Miles Sanders marked as a running back I'd take a flyer on, but he got taken. So I'm probably not going to take a flyer on him at this point. Corey Davis, 9th pick in the 9th round. Austin Eckler, Chargers backup, who might very well be the starter because Melvin Gordon's not going to show up. 10th pick in the 9th round. So now we're starting the 10th round. Cam Newton off the board. Cam Newton, a sleeper pick. So he's like, I think in a lot of sheets you'll see him ranked like number 10-ish, and I had him as the number 4. He would have been a good steal. Delaney Walker, tight end. David Njoku, tight end. I am on the board. What to do. Taking a peek at what running backs we have out there. Man, there's Curtis Samuel coming up. What to do. So here's why I'm pumping the brakes for a second. Rashad Penny is still out there, backup running back for Seattle. I got Chris Carson, and man, it's hard not to take his backup just so you have all your bases covered. No, wait, this is the sweet pickings for wide receiver. These guys are screwing up taking backups. I'm going to take Curtis Samuel off their hands. And then we'll see if Dede comes back. I'm going to take him too. And then I will be good on wide receiver. So I got 2 bench spots left. So I'll probably say, that's tough. Got a quarterback, kicker, defense, and 2 bench spots left. Man. This is what drives me crazy about this draft too, is this league, is because the way they draft and because of the slot picks, or where people pick their players and stuff, there's so much room to get quality, good players. And it's like, when we get to the end of this, there's going to be like 3 or 4 players I really want that are still going to be out there and I just don't have room for. Sorry, checking the phone there, getting an update from the wife and daughter, trying to buy a movie off Amazon. Got to ask the boss man. Just kidding. There we go. Another Vikings defense off the board. How exciting. Dak Prescott. That was actually a sleeper. No homer. Not a homer pick. I had Dak Prescott targeted. Since he's been in the league, he has been a top 10 fantasy quarterback every year. Like, every year he's been a top 10 fantasy quarterback. So Dak Prescott is not a bad pick for a quarterback in fantasy football. So people are starting to pick at their backup quarterbacks, and got to start thinking about it if I'm going to pull the trigger on one or not. So as far as quarterbacks go that are still out there, let's take a look. To finish out the 10th round, Baltimore Ravens, Vance McDonald. Now we're in the 11th round, Will Fuller, Fairbairn, and the Houston Texans defense. Switch over here. Quarterback. Yeah. Russell Wilson still out there. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Jameis Winston, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger. So we still got some good quarterbacks out there. I'm not freaking out too bad yet. Let's keep so, man, Rashad Penny still looking good, still coming back down. Everyone's picking kickers and defenses right now. Good on them. Oh, boo. There goes my man Dede Westbrook. Bummer. Rashad Penny. There goes my other pick. Crap. Okay, now I gotta turn on a swivel here. Shit. Ben Roethlisberger. Okay. sit here and think about it. So we're in the 11th round. I'm on the board. Quarterback's still out there. See what the quarterback slots say right now. You know what? I'm going to take my quarterback. I'm going to take Russell Wilson right here. Russell Wilson's the pick. So I had him. He might slip back a little bit as far as stats go, so he might regress this year, but it's still, again, one of those guys that's always a solid fantasy option. So taking him with this, especially when people are picking their starting and backup quarterback, sometimes you got to operate outside your norm. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Wilson. I do want to get Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, or Kyler Murray, and I'm pretty sure at least one of them will be there at the end of the draft. So I only got 4 spots left, including a kicker and defense. As much shit as I talked about these guys, I might go ahead and jump in and get my defense next, or maybe wait one more round. Let's see who falls to me, and we'll go there. We'll go from there. But I'm feeling really, really good about my squad right now. A little shaky, got question marks at running back. Chris Carson's my starter. Josh Jacobs and David Montgomery are rookies. Both could be studs. We're going to find out. And that's all I got. So I got, I need to take another running back just to be safe. I don't want to, but might have to. Christian Kirk, 8th pick, 11th round. Kirk Cousins, 9th pick. Matt Breida, running back, San Francisco, 10th pick, 11th round. 12th round is on. Zerline, kicker for the Rams, off the board. All right, so I got 4 picks left, kicker, defense, and I think I'm going to split the rest. 1 running back, 1 pass catcher. Might go tight end. We'll see who's there. Definitely need to get at least 1 more running back just to be safe. Man, Marvin Jones is still out there too. That's crazy. Darrell Henderson's still out there. That might actually be the guy I grab, because if Todd Gurley has any kind of injury questions or misses any time, Darrell Henderson's going to get a lot of work. Emmanuel Sanders, Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, there's still a handful of running backs I could see myself drafting. So Marvin Jones is still out there. I had him the 27th best wide receiver. Again, this is a wide receiver league more than a running back league. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull the trigger on Marvin Jones. And that's going to wrap up my wide receiver class. So for wide receivers, I'm not mad about it. We ended up with Devontae Adams, Odell Beckham Jr., T.Y. Hilton, Mike Williams, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel, and Marvin Jones. Pretty damn solid if I say so myself. Austin Hooper, tight end, off the board. Royce Freeman, running back, off the board. So now I'm taking peeks at running back, seeing who's coming off. Phillip Rivers, quarterback, off the board. So right now I'm looking at Darrell Henderson, backup for L.A., Peyton Barber, I think he's actually going to be the starter in Tampa. And then actually Adrian Peterson. That's Adrian Peterson's going to be the pick from running back. He proved last year he can still move a little bit. Darrell Henderson's gone, so that temptation has moved. Deshaun Jackson, Dante Pettis. So again, Adrian Peterson's my pick if he's there. Got 3 more picks to go. Very likely he's going to be there. So the quarterbacks, like I said, I already got Russell Wilson. I still want to get Lamar Jackson, who I think might be a stud this year fantasy-wise, and Kyler Murray, who may just end up lighting it up. They're both still out there. So again, defenses are flying off the board right now. Chargers just got picked. Patriots just got picked. And running back or wide receiver. Running back or quarterback. Running back or quarterback. Gonna go ahead and take Adrian Peterson. All right, so that fills out our bench and skill position players. Only got 2 picks left. I got kicker and a defense. Kicker, defense. Of course, for this, I'm going to pick defense first. So running backs are done. Again, this is only a 1 running back starter and a flex. So for my running backs, I got Chris Carson, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, and Adrian Peterson. So pretty good. Maybe not big names. 2 rookies, an aging back, and a solid back. So might be a little question mark, might be a little weak there, but we'll see how the season turns out. Hoping my stars at wide receiver can help balance out those running back slots. And Russell Wilson, I didn't necessarily want Russell Wilson, but by the time I went to pull the trigger on the quarterback, he was the best option. There's still, again, if something happens or I need to pick something else, there's still Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Jameis Winston, Garoppolo, Stafford, Derek Carr, Darnold, Sam Darnold. I mean, there's still plenty. I mean, you could rotate quarterbacks every week. Plenty of stuff. Plenty of teams left. So, okay, there goes Trey Burton, Jason Myers, Kyler Murray's off the board. Cleveland Browns defense off the board. So, yeah, people are doubling up on defense. Doesn't make any sense. Stupid. So we're just going to go ahead and peek at the defenses. I think my kicker is still out there. Yeah, Will Lutz is the kicker I wanted. So he's still available. Who's the Browns? I did want the Browns. I just didn't think they'd get picked there. Just by default, looks like I'm going to end up taking the Saints defense. Just for fun. Seems to be the best one left. Eating up the clock, Carlos Hyde. Third round running back, Kansas City. Again, just picking a name. Man, there's still some good people out there, and that ain't one of them. Josh Allen, good pick. Quarterback, Buffalo. I actually have him. It's my 8th quarterback. So that might be a steal. All right, going in for defense. Saints defense. Locked in. And I think I'm the last one to pick a defense. Maybe next to last. Saints were the 10th highest defense on my board. That's fine. I'm not too worried about defense. And there goes my kicker, though. Right after I pick my defense, Will Lutz. So I have to focus on a different kicker for my last pick. Oh, look who it is. Seamurph wandering in the door. Let's spice it up a little bit, filling some dead space. Sterling Shepard's picked 6th pick in the 14th round. Sean McCoy off the board. Like I said, all I got is kicker left, so let's go ahead and look. Man, not liking the options. So now we're in the let's see, finish out the 14th rounds. Gotskowski, kicker. Devin Singletary, running back, Buffalo. Kalen Ballage, Miami running back. And we're on the last round, 15th round. Cortland Sutton, first pick in the 15th round. Again, hating my kicker options. But it's still a kicker at the end of the day. Cody, do you remember who you picked for your kickers? Have you already done your other draft yet? No. Oh, who'd you pick in my league?
We don't have kickers.
Ha ha!
That's a trick question.
It was a trick question. We ain't got no MF and kickers in my league. Kickers are stupid. And that's why I do not care about making this pick right here. I just want to get it over with so I can be done. Can drop someone on the IR list and go pick out a waiver real quick. I will say for a fantasy draft, this one, like I said, flies by. Here we are, done in an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah. They don't. I mean, it's a 2-minute clock on your picks the whole way through. So, and most people pick quick. Seahawks defense off the board. John Brown off the board. Patiently waiting to pick my kicker. Woo! Man, this is taking forever. Last round, nobody knows what to do. Bills defense. Tucker. Tucker got picked. His first one. Yep. All right. Let's see. You know what? I don't care about kicker. We'll see if he even makes the team. I'm picking Dallas's kicker. Brett Maher. Mayer? However you say his name. All right. That's it for this draft. So we finished with quarterback Russell Wilson. Running backs Chris Carson. Josh Jacobs. David Montgomery. Adrian Peterson. Tight end Zach Ertz. Wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Odell Beckham Jr., T.Y. Hilton, Mike Williams, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel, and Marvin Jones. And then we got the kicker, and the Saints defense. So yeah, that's going to do it for this fantasy football draft. Again, all I'll suggest is do your own research. Don't rely on these lists. They can give you some bad info. And just if you can't get in a draft where you know where you're going to draft ahead of time, so you can actually get an idea of what you're actually going to be working with. And yeah, just stay on it if you're in the league. Don't be one of those punks that do bad at the beginning and then quit playing. And don't be one of those guys that just fall asleep at your draft. Don't be that guy. But anyway, boo, Cody's booing. But anyway, that's going to do it. We're going to wrap this episode up. This is a little bonus episode, something fun to do. I had to do a draft anyways. I was up here. Might as well record it. And we'll be sprinkling in some fantasy news throughout the year. So just stay on top of those waiver wires and good luck. We'll catch you later. I'm doing Cody's part. Peace.